All right, platoon, fall in. It's the Joe and the Jarhead Show. I am Joe, representing the United States Army. This is
Jarhead,
representing himself today. All right.
That's all we need. United States Marine Corps, hoorah!
Hoo-ha-ha.
That's gonna be like a permanent thing on our set.
I think it has
now.
to be.
So on the Joe and Jarhead Show today, for our headline highlights, we're gonna talk a lot about California. We have two different articles on California.
All right, they're good. Mine isn't.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Well, it's a learning lesson for me. Then we're going to talk about white cops and black ladies. Because that's how the headlines have to make everything flow. And then to pull out or not to pull out. Don't make it dirty, Joe.
Don't make it dirty, you can't throw me that kind of red meat and expect I'm not going to do something with it.
We're referencing Syria there, the proxy war between two other crazy countries.
Right.
But first, as always, let's start off with some history. Well, we're making history.
We're making history. This is amazing. I'm a historian by training. I love to learn about history. Not such a fan of making it, but in this case, this is amazing. So this week in history, Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya, he's an Olympic gold medalist in the marathon. He set the world record for marathons at 2 hours, 1 minute, 39 seconds.
How long is the marathon?
26.2 miles.
Okay.
He just broke that. By 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He just ran a sub 2 hour marathon.
Whew.
He just ran 26.2 miles in 1 hour, 59 minutes, 40 seconds.
Wow.
That's not human.
Right?
That's, okay, so the first few articles I read on this were all highlighting what an incredible accomplishment this is. And then the frickin' Atlantic has to come out and say it's like this fake record. Okay, you know what? Yes, it is not an official time set because it wasn't run in a race. It wasn't him racing other dudes, it was him racing the clock.
Oh, so it's not going to like go down in the Guinness book or anything?
No,
like
probably
that?
not.
Whatever.
And he had like a phalanx of 7 dudes running in front of him, acting as like, shielding him, allowing him to ride their slipstream. Mm-hmm. He had a dude on a bike next to him handing him out energy drinks, as he needed them. So what, Atlantic?
Right.
The dude just ran 26 consecutive sub 4 minute 35 second miles.
That in itself is impossible. Just
That's
to do that in 1 mile.
Can you do that, Mr. Atlantic reporter dude? Or chick, whatever?
None of you can. Nobody else can.
I can't do that.
Nobody can.
That's not human. This dude is amazing.
You know what's amazing to me is that people who get up and run for 2 hours like that, 26 miles. Anybody who does that, who are you people?
That's not right.
But then to do this at 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
That is just amazing.
That's insane.
Well done, Mr. Kipchoge. Well done.
That's cool.
I mean,
I think he should go down in all our history books, record books.
Absolutely, yes. He's going to go down alongside Roger Bannister. First guy to break a sub 4 mile.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna, because it doesn't matter the conditions. His physical body did this. It was amazing. Well done.
It's more than I'm even willing to pretend to try.
Right?
Not for Jarhead.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Can we move on?
Well, I think we should.
To pull out or not to pull out?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. Let's, I don't know if we're going to come to a decision, but we're sure going to talk about it. So we're talking about pulling troops out of Syria. Bashar Assad? Is that how you say it?
Bashar al-Assad?
Yeah, that guy. Crazy lunatic. Can we just call him that?
Sure.
Crazy lunatic dude over there. So his daddy ruled over there in Syria for 30 plus years.
Yep.
So that's kind of what happens when you have dynasties over there, right?
Yep, hereditary monarchies.
So a revolt started not too long ago. It was boosted by they're calling it the Arab Spring, right? Kind of started in Egypt and then Tunisia, Libya. A bunch of people have been revolting against these dynastic, what do you call them? Rulers.
Yeah.
Imperial rulers. So Syria jumped on the bandwagon. Okay. You don't like that?
No, you're good, dude. Keep going.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So Syria jumped on the bandwagon. They're starting to revolt. And of course, we want to jump in because we don't like Mr. Crazy Lunatic over there. And Russia wanted to jump in too. They actually have a naval and an air base over there.
Yep.
So, and Russia's starting to use this as like, I don't know, like a dog and pony show over there. Like a showroom, right? To show off all their new stuff. They just want to use their missiles, drop bombs and stuff.
Sure.
Training grounds for them. So that's what they're doing. So Syria is right next to Turkey. So Turkey's part of it. Now Turkey is part of NATO. So
Yes, they
we're
are.
bound by treaty to protect Turkey. If somebody declares war against Turkey, we're bound to protect them. So, however,
Which is, I don't think, a very good deal for us because Erdogan is he's as big a turd as al-Assad.
he really is. Joe's talking about President Erdogan is actually how you say it, but we like to say Erdogan because it's
Erdogan.
fun. President of Turkey. So there are allies by treaty, but we're also allies with the Kurds. Now, Turkey and the Kurds.
Well,
do
we're
not get along.
allies. We're allies of convenience with the Kurds. We've shared
Kurds.
common cause. We have no treaty with them.
Yes.
They're not part of NATO. They don't even have their own country. They're just an ethnic group that wants their own country.
Yep. So the ethnic group, they're a Muslim ethnic group like the Shiites and the Sunnis and the Kurds. The Kurds are like the least terrorist type, so we align with them. But Joe's right. So we're not bound by a treaty to be allies with them. However, we send them more money, more aid, and more military equipment than we've ever sent to Turkey. That's what
We
the Kurds
also have
get.
Incirlik Air Base we had Incirlik Air Base in Turkey.
Is it not there?
I think it is, but he's putting like huge restrictions on it. Last I
Yeah.
heard.
It's still there. So now we're down to this, I don't know, this deal that we're having with Donald Trump trying to pull all of our troops out of Syria. So
Which is like 50 dudes.
yeah, this morning on the radio was like 1,000 people. So
Is it really
it's-
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 1,000 left. We already pulled a couple out. So the issue is everybody's screaming that we're abandoning our allies, the Kurds. We're going to leave them to be slaughtered. And in a sense, that is true because they have no one else to ally them. Allow.
Ally themselves with.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank
Appreciate you.
I'm here for you.
So nobody else is left for that to help them out.
Okay.
So in a sense, yeah, we're kind of abandoning them after we've been there this whole time with them for years. Since 2013, we've been there, siding with
They
the
were
Kurds.
our allies in the Gulf War in 1990, 91,
Wow, look at the historian. Look at you.
right? And we're like, hey, if you help us overthrow Saddam, that'd sure be great. And of course they did. They helped out in the Gulf War, and we left them alone afterwards. We just kind of said, okay, well, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
And then
See you later.
Saddam Hussein gassed them by the tens of thousands.
Fast forward a couple decades, and that's what President Erdogan is doing right now.
Yep,
With
he
people
just
that
launched a
have,
massive assault.
we have just spent all this money and time and military equipment on, and now Erdogan is he's slaughtering them literally by the thousands. And we're not even totally out of there yet.
Nope.
And he's actually hit some American troops. And there's a
Oops.
big debacle over that, whether it was on purpose or an accident. So, the issue is, now that we're leaving, Russia's going to stay in country. And Russia is like the savior over there in Syria right now. They've been the ones providing most of the humanitarian aid over there.
Yep.
There's actually a good chunk of the population in northern Syria walking around wearing shirts from Russia that say, Russia is with you. Yeah, Syrian people wearing these shirts.
Never
So-
underestimate the value of propaganda.
So, and now that we've abandoned the Kurds, who are they going to side with now?
Well, a lot of them already were.
With Russia?
Because it's not just the Kurds. There's regular Kurdish people that want their own state. Then there's the it's like KPP or something like that. It's
The YPG?
the YP. Yeah,
So that's the one
Yeah,
that Turkey is calling terrorists.
they are terrorists. We call them terrorists.
So that's the one, the leader, and we actually did send them money and military equipment. The leader of the YPG, this was years ago, he was the one that was eating the hearts of his dead enemies. That was him.
Yeah, they're
He's
communists.
crazy.
They're communists.
Yeah, that's a lunatic right there,
Yeah,
that guy.
that's definitely somebody you want to follow, right? That's not a terrorist group. So it'd be like sending money to Lebanon, right? Are the Lebanese people terrible? No. But is Hezbollah, is Hamas there, and are they going to get some of that money? Yes. So it's the same kind of thing. There are, for lack of a better term, good Kurds and bad Kurds.
Now that's aligning with everything I'm
But
wanting to say.
we're not just abandoning the bad Kurds to their fate with Turkey. We're also abandoning the good Kurds who have legitimately helped us out in 2 wars now. And all right, well, bye.
Sorry. But that's exactly the point I'm trying to drive home. This is a lose-lose situation for us because I sympathize with everybody who says we need to pull out. I get it. We don't need to be over there involved in endless wars. But at the same time, if we're not over there, if we don't have boots on the ground there, keeping the fight over there, then it will leak over here on our own soil.
Yep.
History has proven that.
The almighty dollar really does rule just about everything. So where are you going to get the most bang for your buck if you are a terrorist organization? Are you going to get it, trying to smuggle all these people into America, train them up, and have them strike a target here? Or are you going to get more bang for your buck giving weapons to thousands of fighters right there in the region, fighting the infidels in the Holy Land itself?
Yeah, and that speaks to so many people over there that they have an Iranian volunteer army. And this volunteer army is just not made up of Iranians. It's got Afghans, Pakistanis, everybody just wants to go fight the infidels, right? So you don't have to be part of some super secret terrorist cell anymore to come to America. They're over there. We're over there. So it's a lot easier to sign up for the volunteer army and go fight the infidels over there. So you're exactly right.
Yep.
But now,
logistics rules everything.
So it is a lose-lose situation. I believe we still need to keep troops over there. I disagree with what Donald Trump is doing because I want the fight to stay there. And I believe we have to keep fighting the terrorists as they pop up. I don't care how small they are. I don't care what they call themselves. We have to be over there.
Didn't a bunch of ISIS fighters already escape? Like the ones, because the Kurds were the ones basically who took the burden on themselves of prisoner control after we obliterated ISIS. Mm-hmm. We didn't just slaughter them all. We took a bunch prisoner, and then we have like 50,000 of their camp followers. Their wives, their kids, their sick elderly relatives.
Jeez.
We're holding on to them, or the Kurds were holding on to them, and now the Kurds are getting blasted. They're like, we need to save ourselves. Bye.
Yeah, we can't take care of you.
And then a bunch of ISIS dudes have already escaped.
And just to throw another wrench in the mix, there's a struggle when you try to find the difference between Iran, Assad, ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas. When you look at all those people and you look at the war going on over there and this Arab Spring, all these protests rising up, you can look at it, you can step back and look at a bigger picture. This is a massive proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Ever since, after World War I, when the Ottoman Empire was broken up.
Carved up, Sykes-Picot Agreement.
Yep, and Saudi Arabia started to rise up. Those two have never liked each other since day one.
No, one is Saudi Arabia is entirely Sunni, mm-hmm. and Iran is the largest Shia state.
Yep. So, and
they don't get along.
And it's not the only one, right? I mean, there's proxy wars going on all over there right now. Yemen, we've talked about that,
yep.
A lot. Lebanon, you just talked about that. Iraq, Qatar, there's wars going on in all of those countries, and it's between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Yep.
They've got the Sunnis and the Shias. Now, they're not going to be labeled like that. They have their own, like in Yemen, it's the Houthi rebels, right? There was Saudi Arabia.
Sure, yeah.
So it's a lose-lose situation for us, but I believe we have to stay there to keep the fight over there at the end of the day. I hate to say that. I hate putting American lives over there, but at the same time, me and you both volunteered to join, and everybody who's over there now volunteered. They're aware of what's going on.
Historically, bad places exist around the world. They always have, they always will. Historically, bad places are not as bad when the United States is there. Bad places get exponentially worse when we leave. We're still in South Korea, 60 years later?
Oh, jeez.
There's still a South Korea.
Right.
We pulled out of South Vietnam.
Oh my gosh.
There's no South Vietnam anymore. It is the communist state of Vietnam.
Talk about being obliterated. That place.
Right?
They didn't even let them breathe.
Every place we leave gets worse.
Truth.
So
we need to stay there.
I'm not usually of that opinion, but yes, I agree.
But it will be an endless war. But that's playing whack-a-mole with terrorists over there.
Yeah.
What do you do?
You kill your way to victory.
Yes. Slaughter them all.
I am actually okay with that theory.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Moving on.
California.
Governor Nuisance.
Nuisance. Yes. Governor.
I came up with that first. I want
nice. Well done. Well done. So Governor Gavin Newsom just signed 15 new firearm bills into effect. New gun control legislation.
Oh boy, man.
Wow. Yeah. They take effect. The laws take effect this coming January 1st, 2020.
Okay.
And they kind of phase in over the next year and a half. So this stuff is amazing. Like, you're only allowed to buy one long gun, so one rifle or one shotgun a month.
So you can own more than one, but you can only buy one.
You can only buy one gun a month.
Okay.
So here in Potatoeville, Idaho, when you ask, like, how many guns can I buy in a month? The answer is, I don't know. How many can you pay for in a month?
Right. What's the limit on your credit card, buddy?
Exactly. How long is our waiting period? I don't know. How long is it going to take for your credit card to process? No, we still do the NICS background check. We're still federally compliant. And then ammunition sellers are now restricted the same as firearms dealers. So they have to abide by all the same regulations, California state regulations that firearm retailers.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can only get a certain amount of
bullets. Yeah. And then here's the one that really friggin' stuck in my throat is gun violence restraining orders, red flag laws.
Oh no.
Yes, gun violence restraining orders can be filed by your coworkers, your employer, or your kids' teachers.
Oh snap.
Yeah. So it's not just law enforcement officers, not just relatives. Just about anybody can tell law enforcement that you are a danger to yourself or others, that you own firearms, and they will come and remove those firearms until you can prove that you are not a danger to others, which turns the entire legal process on its head.
Yep. Now you're guilty until proven innocent.
That inverts due process. And this restraining order can be in place for up to 5 years before you can get your own guns back.
Now let's talk about how serious this is, because if you have a friend out at work and you're no longer friends with because you got in a fight over fantasy football and
Right.
he wants to rub your face in it, all he has to do is file a complaint.
Did that happen to you? Is that where this is coming from?
No.
Okay.
I'm kicking butt in fantasy football, by the way.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it is. So that's I mean, we're not embellishing this. We're not being sarcastic here. That's literally what can happen. When coworkers are getting in a beef, they can file a complaint.
Yeah, you can essentially swat people. Swatting is a term where it came from online gaming, where someone's being a jerk in a game, so you call SWAT and say they've got like a gun and hostages, and a SWAT team shows up at their house. A significant number of people have been killed this way.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but this is essentially the same thing, where you can have the cops show up at someone's house. Another part of this law that is parallel with this is now a judge can issue a search warrant at the same time as the restraining order.
Restraining order.
So the gun violence restraining order. So you can say this person has guns and he's a danger, and the cops show up and say, we want all your guns. Fine, here. Well, now, because people are going to avoid that, all right, yeah, here's my one gun. I'll see you later. Now the cops can search your place for guns.
Wow.
Yeah, to make sure you're giving them all up. Yeah.
That California, how you realize that this Governor Nuisance, he was voted in, right?
He was.
And he can be voted out. Why are you allowing this to happen?
I don't know. I don't think a lot of Californians want this, but honestly, where Los Angeles goes, there goes the state.
Oh my gosh.
So
down the toilet drain.
Yep. Anyway, so this and also you have to be 21 to buy a long gun, a rifle or a shotgun. The federal law says 18.
So you can join the military at 17 and still...
And you've never held a gun before in your life.
And they'll issue you one there. There you go. A couple.
Well, I mean, I teach firearm safety, and I kind of like people who've never held guns before to teach them, because they don't have any bad habits that I need to correct. But at the same time, having some familiarity with a firearm, at least some familiarity, and not being terrified of it because you've been told it's a bad thing all your life, that goes a long way toward making a soldier, especially an infantryman.
Yep. To me, when stuff like this happens, it just scares me, because the criminals are going to come out in force now with stuff like this.
Why not? Your
mass
entire
shootings
population
will escalate.
You know what? If I was a gang leader, I would, no joke, I would be burning up the freaking airwaves, phoning in all my rival gangsters with red flag laws. Yeah, this dude has a gun.
Beat them with their own politics.
I'm serious. I would disarm everybody else. It'd be so legit. Anyway.
Who's going to be the cop that's going to go search a gang leader's house? Right?
Not it.
I'm sick, boss.
Yeah, right?
Can't come in.
But all the articles I see on this keep using stuff like the governor keeps saying, we're going to close loopholes in the law. We're going to make communities safer. close loopholes in the law that allow people to have guns. That's not a loophole. That's the second frickin' amendment.
You're taking people's
Right of people to
rights
keep and
away.
bear arms shall not be infringed. I'm having a hard time understanding how this
People can
doesn't
no
do that.
longer protect themselves.
Right.
In California, you're letting your own citizens die. Oh, I hate
Anyway.
that. I hate everything about that.
Yes, me too. What do you
Okay.
got? We're
Yeah. Okay, Pacific Gas and Electric. This is the nation's largest utility provider. So they were being blamed for that big campfire last year in California, the one that just totally decimated paradise, right? 80 people died. That whole town just burnt to the ground, nothing but ashes. So they're being blamed for that, and they're starting to take responsibility of it because they found out that one of the transformers was getting faulty and a power line got too close to vegetation. They started a fire. So
Happens.
now they're trying to get proactive because this isn't the first time. I gave you one example. There's been a couple different examples where they may have been the reason that some of these California fires have started.
okay.
So this year they're starting to get proactive. So last week they said, hey, we're just going to shut off the power during the windy season. The Santa Ana winds up there, right? They get super crazy, right? So yeah,
What?
they're going to turn off the power.
Okay.
Electric
What
cars
I
are
would
powered
really
by
love
coal.
is if they shut down the wind turbines.
Yeah.
They're providing power. We can't let this happen.
Oh my gosh. California hypocrisy.
Right?
Okay. So they are going to turn off the power to try to get ahead of the situation. They want to be proactive about it, which okay, that's cool. So they're going to turn off. I've read like 3 different articles on this. Their numbers are somewhere between 500,000 and 2 million people that actually lost power. They tried to be strategic about it, which I applaud. They didn't want to turn off power to hospitals, to government buildings, to nursing homes. That did happen to some of them. Some roads did get shut down, the lights, the street lights. Some nursing homes did lose power, but it was a disaster. It did not work out like they wanted it to happen. So the state had actually foot the bill because they had to stand up a bunch of emergency centers so people could go get food and water and charge their phones because that's an emergency these days. So it didn't work out like they wanted. What scares me about this is that when we talk about getting ready for emergencies, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, being ready for the time that we don't have power,
Yep.
we always seem to like blame it on somebody far away, like the infamous they. It's going to be China with their new EMPs or their new drones that can hide weapons in their cargo package, or their laser killers, or Russia's new gold, what was that thing?
The supersonic freaking drone torpedo
yes.
sub. Yeah.
We always like to blame it on them, but now here in America, it's our own government. Our own power companies are shutting down the power. They went without power for 3 days, Wednesday through Friday.
Well, there goes all the food in your fridge.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people were savvy and they got ahead of the situation. They ran to Costco or whatever and started buying generators. Good for you, so could at least keep their food going. Get hot water, make yourself some coffee in the morning.
Right.
But, and a lot of people they had their solar panels too, so they were safe that way. But that got to me thinking, here in Potatoville, yeah, I got my potatoes and I got my guns, but what would I do if the power went off for 3 days? Yes, my food would die because I don't have a generator. I do have a generator, but it wouldn't last for 3 days unless I ran and got some more gas.
Right.
So what worries me is that, yeah, I would have had, my family would have been eating dried cereal because that's all the food storage I can, freaking kids. That's all I eat is cereal. But it worries me. And what I want to take
Weird.
away
It's
from
like the same in our house.
cereal and goldfish crackers. Lasts us a whole year on that. But I want to learn from this, right? Because we always talk about how you need to take care of your family. I mean, this last article you talked about with Governor Newsom. We talk about how we're ready to defend our families, take care of our families. But in this situation, if the power company is going to turn our power off, am I really prepared for that?
Probably not.
No, I'm embarrassed to say I am not. Like I said, I could eat off dried cereal and goldfish for a couple days, but that's it. In a long-term situation, I am not ready. So we need to learn from the situation because it may or may not come from the infamous day overseas, some terrorists getting some nuclear bombs from
It
Pakistan
could just be
or
some
India.
good idea ferry from your local power company.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, right?
We might get blamed for something, so let's preemptively kill people in old people's homes who are on oxygen.
That
Okay.
did happen. Yep, nursing homes were shut down.
Yeah, I read about that case where a dude like died within minutes because they shut off the power to the old folks' home, and he was on oxygen.
I didn't hear about that, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of jobs. Think of all the jobs people couldn't go into work because jobs are shut down. A lot of your bigger companies are going to have backup power supply like we do, but most of your 9-to-5ers out there working the strip do not
Yeah.
have extra power. So a lot of people just couldn't go into work.
Oh, well.
So, yeah, it's hard on both ends because now you're not going to go to work to make that money for those couple days, and now you're out of power. Can't take care of your family.
Right.
And it's crazy how much we are dependent on the power coming to our home from somebody else that we have no control over.
Right.
So,
who bust?
what we need to take away from this is we need to have our guns in our home to protect our families. Not only do we have to have guns, like Joel always preaches, we have to know how to use them.
Correct.
And store them safely.
Correct.
We have to know how to take care of our families in emergency. What's your plan? When the power does go out in your home, what's your plan?
If you don't have a plan, you need a plan.
Get one. Get your emergency preparedness, your food, your water. How are you going to have electricity? You have to have electricity. You want warm water unless you're going to build a fire. That's not going to work here. It's too cold.
I don't know. I got enough firewood for a winter.
Yeah, I'm just going to move in with you.
I mean, I'll watch you starve to death on my front lawn, but your wife and kids can come in. We like them.
You would miss me. All right,
Probably.
Moving on.
All right. So I'm just going to gloss this one real quick because it's still developing. So Dallas-Fort Worth over the weekend, a white cop shot a black lady.
That's what the headline read.
Yep.
White cop, black lady.
Yep.
Racism.
Had to be. I don't know what race had to do with this. I watched the body cam footage from the officer, and it doesn't look good.
It doesn't.
It does not look good. It is. They showed up to this house from a welfare call, which is basically a neighbor saw the front door open and a light on in this house at like 2:00 in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, could you just go over there and just make sure everything's okay?"
That's a good neighbor right there.
Doggone right it is. This dude's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of officers show up, and they're checking around, and at one point, the officer in question goes through a gate, shines his flashlight in a window, apparently sees somebody, guns out, show me your hands, let me see your hands, bang.
Mm-hmm.
Like that fast, like 4 seconds, start to finish.
There was a gun. He saw a gun. There was a gun in the house.
Yes, there was. Did the person have it?
Yeah, we don't know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. But immediately everyone jumps on, oh, white cop shot a black lady unarmed in her own home.
The racism card.
Oh, Amber Geiger. Oh, gosh.
Amber who now?
Amber Geiger, the police officer that just got convicted of murder for blasting that dude in his own apartment. Yeah, so the comparisons are coming out of the woodwork. Now, I'll be the first to admit, this does not look good. This does not look like a justifiable shoot.
It doesn't.
But take a breath, pause, let the evidence come out, and if this guy had a bad shoot, and he's a rookie, he's been on the force 18 months, if it is a bad shoot, he's going away for murder, or at least for manslaughter.
Yeah. I would work to the left of all of that, and I would say, first, before you do anything, don't be racist. Don't label your headlines white cop,
you are
black
already
lady.
Contaminating the jury pool.
You're already making it worse.
Yeah. Labeling something as racist when the evidence has not come in, that never helps. That never improves the situation.
I'm a big fan of these body cams, though, because that will help. But at the same time, I hate it when people, especially these racist pigs who try to label, white cop, black lady, you can't quarterback this from your reporter's chair, all right?
Can't.
And we've seen that way too much overseas during war. People try to do that too much. Stop trying to quarterback it from a continent away.
Right?
It's not okay.
Nope.
But I agree with you, Joe. It does not look good what happened there.
Oh, well, the truth will come out.
Truth will out.
Because we are still America, I still have faith in our justice system, and if this dude is rotten, he'll go away for it. If he's not guilty, if there was a credible threat to himself, or at least he perceived there was a credible threat, okay, then it was a terrible accident.
Yep.
Either way, the police department's going to get their pantsuit off.
Probably, but...
Anyway.
All right, is that our show?
I think that's our show. That's got to be our show.
That'll do it. Thanks for joining us, Platoon. We sure do love you guys.
We do. Way more than I love him. Anyway.
You don't mean that.
I do. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Best audience on the internet, and we love you guys. Stay safe. Hua. All right. Platoon dismissed.
Semper Fi.
I'm sorry, you said what?
Pacific Gas and Electric?
Okay.
What did you think I said?
You kind of rolled right over that G there, son.
Oh, Joe, how I love doing this show with you. Pacific Gas and Electric.
There
It
we
is
go.
a power
Pronunciation is a good
company.
thing, brother.